This is the second part of computer mediated communication video lecture. In the first part, we were discussing about different types and forms, particularly synchronous and asynchronous computer mediated communication, the difference between two main computer mediated communication forms, or one is real time, another one is communication happens in a delayed pattern. And we have seen the many examples of synchronous and asynchronous, and I'm sure you must be experiencing this or practicing this kind of communication in your routine life, because now internet is part of our life for our own personal communication settings, and lot of official level or professional level we employ the computer mediated communication or online platform, digital gadgets, and for multiple purposes. And we were discussing in the first sessions about what are the different forms of CMC, one to one, one to many, many to many. We gave examples also. But in this session, we specifically going to focus on three aspects of computer mediated communication. This is extension of the earlier presentation. If you haven't seen the earlier presentation, better you first watch the first video lecture on computer mediated communication, then come to this lecture. And this is a continuation of the first session. And in order to understand the concept discussed in this meeting, this session, you need a basics of computer mediated communication. To refer the first lecture, then come to the second one, the present one. And here we are going to discuss about media elements. What are the media elements we employ in a computer mediated communication? What are the purposes? What other than the individual level, what are the other scopes, other purposes, benefits attached with the computer mediated communication? We will try to link with other mainstream media the communication pattern and computer mediated communication pattern. Then the last segment of this presentation is about the theories of computer mediated communication, and that there are four major theories we will discuss. These theories representing the growth of technology based communication system and being part of the human evolution. If you compare with the traditional communication and the computer mediated communication, traditional media not changed much. Though the delivery happens, they used to incorporate a lot of technology like color photographs and live broadcast and live radio program. Kind of the main delivery platform is never changed, but they added extra elements in their presentation. The newspaper means it's become more number of pages, colorful, better design, and lot of regional newspaper, news item, because the technology enables them to collect the stories and technology enables them to delivery. So collection and delivery become better way, but the standardized communication system in the newspaper or in the radio, television, or in the film, there are a lot of enhancement in the additional inputs, additional components in the main delivery system. Whereas if you take the computer mediated communication, and we have around 25 years of experience with the online platform of 1994 to till date, we have seen lot of changes over the period of time, because here the technology changes very fast, and the network platform capacity is being enhanced tremendously over the period of time. So all the technological development, infrastructural development exactly replicates or changes the way we communicate through networks, through computers, through gadgets. When the internet was introduced in India, we were completely relying on computers based, and the network usually through dial-up, and it's all kbps. Now we are talking about GPPS and all, and MBPS, GPPS, and like that. Earlier it was to download a Word file takes time, because you need to dial a telephone number, then get connecting with the system, then adding that, because the technological limitation, it was very strong in the earlier period, that restricted all our communication towards text only. Audio, videos, it was impossible in the earlier period because the data doesn't support that much. Photograph, of course, it was possible, but photograph also needs to be compressed picture only, like a JPEG and GIF and other compressed formats become popular because to enhance the potential or limitations of data connectivity or the technological platform. And then bandwidth and broadband connectivity came, and mobile handsets, smartphone, and advanced fiber optic connectivity, and multiple internet service providers, and wireless connectivity. Earlier it was mainly wire based and wireless connectivity, and now you can feel that if you are a younger person, even then you can see the difference between 5 years back and now. And if you are able to recollect or reconnect with the 20 years back, 25 years back, you can see the huge difference. The technological development, new gadgets, new data economics like affordable monthly plans, all these parameters, all these factors of online platform got changed the way we communicate. That 20 years back in Indian context, we were never able to think about kind of having a Google Meet or online video conferencing system for classroom settings. And earlier it was basically text, but now it's become common, and that's mobile and mobile caller economics, like the minute, the rate per minute, it was exceeding 10 rupees or 15 rupees the earlier thing. Now it's unlimited phone calls, and not necessary of phone calls. With the internet you can connect with the other person without paying any money for the service provider. There are free public Wi-Fi. Net connectivity is available in the railway stations and the public platform. Hotspots are available. So if you look at the chronological development, earlier we were restricted to the text, and 2005 we got the Web 2.0, Wikipedia, blogs, and social media started revolutionizing our communication system. So text become audio video part. Audio video become much more stronger in the recent past, and here also we can see the difference between the developed countries and developing countries. In the developed countries, initially they invested heavily on the telecom infrastructure. That's why if you look at their landline penetration and our landline penetration, there's a huge gap between that. But we adopted wireless in order to overcome the shortcoming in the infrastructure part. Immediately we jumped into the wireless part. That's why in Indian context now, in the globally, we have huge highest number of mobile connectivity, and we are second highest in the net connectivity. Though it's a 51% of the total population penetration, we will take up this penetration, access and participation in the subsequent presentations. But overall, and we are the second highest net internet users. Similarly, mobile connectivity. I was talking about the way we used to communicate earlier. Now there's a difference in developed countries and developing countries. Developed countries, they migrated much faster and better bandwidth, a better broadband. So audio video, social media platform like MySpace earlier, MySpace and Orkut and Facebook, Twitter become much popular there, and slowly, and we adapted because our technology also provided, and data connectivity, much more private competition brought down the data access, data monthly plan and all. So now the text, audio, video, or combination of all the forms, quite possible. But the later part of the presentation, when we are talking about a theoretical aspect, we will see the majority of the theoretical part on this textual form, and audio videos are limited because the theoretical understanding, acceptability or acceptance of theoretical understanding takes longer period time. So in the current scenario of media richness, it takes time for us to formulate a theoretical foundation. Over the period of time it will come. But now, and the media forms, elements, we can categorize into 4 major types. Primarily text based communication. Earlier English usually dominant level because of incompatibility of the regional languages. The later the Unicode supported that, and even keyboards also, it was not supporting the regional language, but now it's being is being introduced. The text can be either internationally language, in English language, or any language which supports the Unicode keyboards that can be accommodated within the computer mediated communication. And its simplest another form, if the mobile handset or audio video, that internet connectivity able to support you, and but you are not able to type the Unicode based text, then audio. There are a lot of experiments happening in Indian context where the computer based, internet based, interactive video audio calling based IVR method, there are experiments happening. The people in the rural areas, they communicate with the server, with the phone calls, they will get the message. There are audio based magazines over the internet is happening in Indian context. Then the video, because now the online conferencing system and video based chatting and real time group chatting in either through the social media platform or through any other particular software, it's possible. So, the primarily a text, audio, a video and combination of all the above. So, these are the broad way we used to communicate with other people. All depends upon the person, depends upon the context, depends upon the scenario and the subject. So, accordingly we will choose the right method and the right platform and right media elements. Now, we will come to the purpose of computer mediated communication, why this is much more relevant and what are the benefits attached with the common people and the human and the society. The social interaction and group process is being facilitated much better way. So, you can understand easily now the how come the Tunisia and Arab Spring happened. We have around 400 years of newspapers and 100 years of electronic media history, and it was not that much. So the early media system supported the social media. Of course, they used to do that, but the way automatically the support mobilized in the ground level, that mainstream media can't play a role. Social media played a role. So that's why this is wherever there is a kind of a suppression, then the social interaction group process motivated them to mobilize voices, strong voices, then activism, they sustained over the period of time. Of course, there are a lot of questions being raised after the anarchy, what happened. That's a different set of questions, but here we are highlighting which platform facilitated that kind of massive social movements, computer mediated communication. Second, importantly, this is a group common applicability, common purpose for society. Second, the individual benefits. For example, the computer mediated communication either through social media platform or through other gadgets, other platform, it helps the individual to project the self identity. It helps to form your own self. It helps the individuals to manage your impression, how you are projecting to other society, how you are projecting to the others through your either through Instagram or through your profile picture in a WhatsApp or in a Facebook or in your other online platform. So that's one way of presenting oneself to the global audience, to the limited level or to the public. So one is a group dynamics, one is individual dynamics, and then it helps and develops maintaining a relationship. The relationship either within their society, within their limitation, within their locality or beyond the locality, going to the national level or international level. There is a scope, there is a possibility, and there is a lot of benefits being utilized by many people for personal utilization, professional utilization. The relationship, the developing a relationship and maintaining a relationship through online platform. And it helps the computer mediated communication to build the communities. Community means online communities, virtual communities. And in the Facebook group, if it is open to anyone on particular theme, for example, climate change, people who are concerned about climate change, automatically they will gather together in that Google Facebook group. that people may not be from one location, one geographical location, but comes from multiple time zones, and they gather together based on a common interest. We will take up the separate presentation on community, online communities and virtual communities. And the last option of the computer mediated communication purpose, as per our presentation here, it provides a collaboration among the people for a common purpose. Wikipedia is one example, Linux is another example, then free open source software. These are some of the example for the outcome, either the processing software or knowledge system helps the society. So these are the common identifiable purposes of computer mediated communication. Now we move on to the theoretical aspect of computer mediated communication. Theories basically, they'll contextualize, they summarize the scenario. They'll try to represent what's happening in the any particular context. So in the computer mediated communication, and we would like to highlight, there are many more theoretical frameworks, but here we would like to give two theories and two models. This, I think I told you earlier, that technology changes very fast, and due to multiple factors, the way computer mediated communication is being operated changes much faster way, and you can notice the difference within the last 2 years time, or 5 years time, or 10 years time, like that. But this theories and models summarize the whole crux of computer mediated communication. You can understand it in a much better way. Of course, the theory, there is no end to the theoretical understanding knowledge system. It will develop, it will be added, some of the theories are accepted, some of the theories are rejected or enhanced, and more dimensions are added. These are ongoing process. But as of now, with this theories and models, you will get an idea about how the computer mediated communications operates. So one of the theory is social presence theory. And here the social presence theory is arguing that in the mediated communication, how far the real person is being represented in the online platform, the reality versus virtuality. So the degree to which a person is perceived as a real person in mediated communication, how far you will accept your friend appears in the Google Meet or the Zoom, and how far you are able to connect with each other either through immediacy. Immediacy means the synchronous communication facilitates the communication between you and your friend, though both of you sitting in completely different corners of the country or corners of the global conditions. So the social presence theory says, primarily it's composed of main two components. How far this can be, and the gap between the two, with the help of computer mediated communication, which since if both of us are available, automatically we will go for face-to-face settings. Why do we need a mobile or computer gadgets? So when we are going for online, when we are sitting apart for each other, and two parameters helps us to go together and understand, create a commonality. One is intimacy, another one is immediacy. These are the two constructs of social presence theory. Intimacy intimacy in a communication medium is influenced by a number of factors, such as the physical distance, eye contact, smiling, and the topics what we are discussing that. So if you are very intimate friends, and if you are discussing in any common topic, any interesting topic in a park, the time is not a constraint for you. That as long as you are free to discuss on the topic, your physical distance, sitting closer together, and eye contact and touching, smiling, all the non-verbal cues, that will create a much more intimacy about the topic. Similar part needs to be recreated and in the online way. Of course, the physical distance may not be possible, but the eye contacts can be established, and the smiling and facial expression and the topic. So these are possible provided all the infrastructure, all the bandwidth and computing, your ability to interact with each other. If everything supports then only the computer mediated communication become more successful. So the social presence theory, it was arguing that in the earlier stage, the text-based computer mediated communication, this intimacy was missing. The topic may be common, but a lot of other factors missing. That's why that was a challenge for the people involved in the computer mediated communication to perceive other person as a real person. The second important factor is immediacy. Immediacy is the measure of psychological distance. Immediacy means how far the communicator is able to put information better way for other person. So these two factors influences the success of computer mediated communication. That's the main point of social presence theory. The second important theory related to computer mediated communication is social context cue theory. This cue theory, social context cue theory, states that the decline in contextual, visual and oral cues should lead to decreased awareness and sensitivity, causing computer mediated communication to more impersonal than face-to-face communication. This is what the observation based on the earliest computer mediated communication point, it means 95, 2000, 2005 period of time. It got challenged and then it got improvised much more better way, and this is understanding that the impersonal become interpersonal in the computer mediated communication, where in order to overcome the lack of non-verbal communication, the text-based computer mediated communication, we try to adopt much more facilities of the text or audio or video or picture or smileys and all. But still, the social context cue theory argues that though we are trying our level best to relate with the face-to-face level, from impersonal to we move to interpersonal, but the computer mediated communication never takes or never translate your social status. A powerful person in a community, you are powerful in a community, physically, offline community. That powerfulness of your position in the status of your position never translate in online. You are a common person in an online group, until otherwise is a celebrity or a different status together. And your social norms and the community accepted behavior within the online system, all this affects the computer mediated communication, because everybody is a horizontal, and the way the face-to-face communication or group communication happens in the society may not be represented as it is in the computer mediated platform. So that's what this theory says. Lot of not only non-verbal communication, even other factors, the social factors, may not be carried forward to the computer mediated communication. And many times, many people, they try to make it as they may behave like anonymously. They try to take anonymous position there. That's because of social context cue theory arguing that point. And there are other social cues which are lagging in the computer mediated communication as per this theoretical concept is the geographical location, organizational hierarchy and situational variables. Social status, social norms, geographical location, organizational hierarchy and situational variables plays major role in the face-to-face and group communication level. But when you are going to online, all these are stands apart and stays away and unable to translate an online platform. So the person comes with all the parameters of society, but difficult to replicate his or her position in the offline, in the online platform. That's a major argument of social context cue theory. Of course, when the theory says that needs to be tested, that needs to be understood in a broader way, and it needs to be customized and localized in the nearest environment to test it, and that's how the knowledge improves that. The third one is a model, a cluelessness model. This is again, this is based on the difference between face-to-face communication, the group communication in the offline world and online world. Absence of all non-verbal cues and identity markers like a status occupational role. It affects the community, computer-based communication. Psychological distance also increases between two persons. So that leads to more impersonal communication. How much effort is being taken by the individual to represent his own intimacy and immediacy, that makes the impersonal become interpersonal. That's the argument of cluelessness model. The last model of this presentation is the media richness model. And we have seen the two theories, and the third model is cluelessness model, and the fourth one is media richness model. We were talking about the data plan and the different technology enable the tablets, mobile, smartphone and all. So with this thing and with the availability of much better bandwidth and broadband, the computer mediated communication becomes highly media rich level. The bandwidth and the ability of broadband to transmit to multiple queues. Now we are trying, and the ability to give immediate feedback, because the conferencing system that allows, if you have better bandwidth, ability to support the use of natural and conversational language, because we have free from constraints of time, then economic associated with the data plan. There is no the time bounded of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Of course, in a conferencing system, there are software, they restrict the time limitation, but even otherwise also, if you have through social media in the synchronous communication, we try to replicate the intimacy of face-to-face communication. A lot of focus is being shifted to the personal communication between the groups, between the individuals. Right. So that's that the media richness model reflects the recent developments in the computer mediated communication due to the better bandwidth and better handsets and computing devices. The theories are talking about the social distance, social presence and social distance, and the last model talking about reflecting the contemporary scenario there. So all these models and theories and purposes and the media elements gives a kind of overall understanding about computer mediated communication, how it's happening in the individual level, group level and in the society level. So that's about the computer mediated communication. The next presentation we will talk about online communities and virtual communities. It's extension of computer mediated communication. Thank you.